Hello, listeners. Welcome to Whisper Tales. Today's story is Revenge Gone Wrong, when payback takes an unexpected turn. Ethan Wolfe had spent years building his future. A brilliant financial strategist, he co-founded Wolfe and Carter Investments with his best friend, Damian Carter. Together, they turned a small hedge fund into a billion-dollar empire. But power breeds ambition, and ambition breeds betrayal. One morning, Ethan woke up to a nightmare. The media was ablaze with headlines. Ethan Wolfe implicated in fraud scandal. Millions of dollars had gone missing. The SEC was investigating. Investors were pulling out. Ethan was confused until he saw the press conference. Damian sat behind a polished desk, shaking his head in feigned disappointment. "I trusted Ethan," he told reporters. "I had no idea he was committing fraud. But as co-founder, I will do everything in my power to clean up the mess he's left behind." Ethan watched, numb. He had done nothing wrong, but Damian had set him up. By the time Ethan realized what had happened, it was too late. Damian had erased every trace of his involvement. Fake paper trails, manipulated documents, even emails that made it look like Ethan had been laundering money. The board forced Ethan out. His assets were frozen. His career was over. But Damian hadn't just stolen his company. He had stolen his life. And Ethan wanted it back. For 2 years, Ethan disappeared. He lived under the radar, traveling through Europe and Asia, studying the art of deception. He learned from hackers, private investigators, and corporate spies. He built a new identity, a new fortune, and a plan. Damian thought he had won, but Ethan was coming back, and he was going to destroy him. Ethan didn't attack Damian directly. He became his shadow. Using an alias, he bought shares in Wolfe and Carter, slowly infiltrating the company. He bribed Damian's closest advisors, turned his most trusted executives against him, and then, whispers, a leaked report about embezzlement, anonymous tips to regulators, fabricated financial records showing secret accounts under Damian's name. The same tactics Damian had used against him, and it worked. Stock prices plummeted. Investors panicked. Damian was on the verge of losing everything. Ethan was close to victory when something unexpected happened. An investigative journalist named Clara Voss started digging. At first, she was looking into Damian, but she found too much. She uncovered strange financial movements, offshore accounts linked to both Damian and an unknown investor. That investor? Ethan. Clara confronted him. "You're not exposing a criminal, Ethan," she said. "You're becoming one." Ethan dismissed her. Damian had ruined his life. He deserved this. But Clara wasn't done. She kept digging. And then she found something that Ethan had missed. Damian had not acted alone. The real mastermind was Raymond Sinclair, a billionaire investor who had funded Wolfe and Carter's rise to power. Sinclair had orchestrated everything: Damian's betrayal, Ethan's downfall, even the setup that was now destroying Damian. Why? Because he wanted the company. Ethan had thought he was playing chess, but Sinclair had been 10 moves ahead. Ethan had one final move left. He confronted Damian in his penthouse office. "You thought you were smart," Ethan said, "but you were just a pawn." Damian, now desperate, laughed bitterly. "And what does that make you?" Ethan froze. For 2 years, he had told himself he was fighting for justice. But looking at Damian, broken, paranoid, defeated, he saw himself. He had become what he hated, and Sinclair had won. Before Ethan could act, Damian's phone rang. It was Sinclair. "You're both liabilities now," Sinclair said coolly. "Goodbye." Gunshots rang out. Snipers. Ethan barely ducked in time. Damian wasn't so lucky. His former friend collapsed, bleeding out. And Ethan realized Sinclair had played them both. Ethan had one chance. He could run, disappear again, or he could end this. He called Clara. "I have everything on Sinclair," he said, "but I need your help." With her contacts and his evidence, they exposed the real corruption. The headlines the next morning read, "Billionaire Raymond Sinclair linked to corporate sabotage and fraud scandal." The FBI moved in. Sinclair was finished. but so was Ethan. The public never forgave him. He had tried to frame Damien, tried to manipulate the system, and in the end, he had become just as corrupt.